What's up, Reject Nation? Today we're gonna watch Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker Honest Trailer.
Nope, I'm done. I'm out. No more Star Wars, no more trailers.
But John, this isn't the actual movie trailer. It's
Nope,
just...
don't care. I've been let down too many times. The mystery box is nostalgia. I'm too afraid of being hurt again.
But John, confronting fear is the destiny of the Jedi.
The legacy of Jedi is failure.
That's not true.
At the height of their powers, they allowed Darth Sidious to procreate, they denied Finn and Poe's love, and allowed Karan Trevorrow's shooting script to be thrown out.
Alright, yeah, that is a failure, but stormtroopers fly now.
They fly now?
They fly now!
From Colin Trevorrow, until someone saw the Book of Henry, and the director who's never seen a landing he couldn't not stick, comes the epic conclusion to The Force Awakens. Star Wars Episode 7.5, The Rise of Skywalker.
I got a bad feeling about this.
The Last Jedi asked you to forget everything you knew about Star Wars. So when some fans threw the kind of fit usually reserved for ethics and games journalism, Disney panicked and tried to mash the pieces back together in this hollowed out shell of a trilogy that's missing any consistency in its plot, themes, or characters. Unless you fill in the blanks on Twitter, read all the novels, and happen to be running some Fortnite squads with the boys during the crossover event.
The day of victory is at hand. The day of revenge. The day of the Sith.
Oh, that's what the Dead Speak was referencing. Fortnite. Just like how Return of the Jedi with the Death Star and Root Beer Tapper.
Oh, God. Oh, I've played this game.
Oh, cool.
When we left them, the Resistance was down to its last gasp, and the First Order reigned supreme. Now, stuff has happened, and the Resistance is back to fighting strength, while the First Order is taking loans from the rich old grandpa they don't call anymore. They'll strike a dark bargain with the only character left on the rotting carcass of the original trilogy, Palpatine, or a clone of him that's like rotting away, and Snoke is also a clone and he's being pickled? I don't know. Not super clear. The Emperor is enacting the same plan he had last time. Troll a young Jedi into striking him down.
Strike me down, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete. Strike me down, and my spirit will pass into you.
And when that fails, hit him with the old zap hands. But luckily, the same Luke Skywalker who bailed in this whole mess also left a scavenger hunt to stop him, sending our heroes running to find the thingy.
The location of the Wayfinder has been
Call the MacGuffin.
upon this dagger.
That leads to the other thingy.
The Emperor's Wayfinder is in the Imperial Vault.
That leads to the bad guy.
She's going to Exegol. She's showing us how to get there.
While the First Order keeps sending them running whenever some character growth is about to happen.
There's an incoming destroyer.
Gotta go now.
Ben, we're about to be cooked!
Hey, that was a cool chase. To be fair.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about this film, and the biggest issue it has at its core is, oh no, TIE fighters! Everybody scram! All the new characters you still barely know after 3 movies. Who I guess was a smuggler at some point?
Your friend's old job was running spice.
Completing his arc from Han Solo type to just Han Solo.
Yeah.
Finn, who's still fighting against all odds to keep himself in the movie.
I need to go along.
We go together. We're all in this.
Gotta go after her.
Maz Kanata, who snatched a medal out of Leia's cold dead hands just to please some 40-year-old fanboys. These poor schmucks, whose stories must have been cut for time. Kylo Ren, continuing the Skywalker tradition of being a genocidal death cultist who's redeemed by a single act of good. And Rey, who's taken Luke's X-Wing, his lightsaber, his book collection, possibly his childhood home, and his last name.
Rey who?
Rey Skywalker.
Huh, was Rey playing the long game? Because I think Luke just got talented Mrs. Ridley'd. The newcomers, don't worry, no one is ever really gone. Rejoin your old pals 3PO, Chewie, Luke, Leia, Han, and Lando, who are so sidelined at this point that one of them is fake memory wiped.
Memory restoration complete.
One of them fake dies.
He's alive.
One of them thinks Last Jedi was for fake fans only.
The Jedi's weapon deserves more respect.
One of them dies from causing the fake death of her son. One of them died 2 movies ago and is so over this franchise, he wouldn't even get a haircut to cameo as a memory. And one of them is alive and well enough to seemingly hit on his own daughter.
Well, let's find out.
Didn't know that's who Janna was supposed to be? It was in the Rise of Skywalker visual companion book.
Is
idiot.
it?
You should have been reading that in between rounds of Fortnite. You call yourself a Star Wars fan. So strapping.
I didn't know that.
That brings so much new to the franchise. From the new Force powers that would have really come in handy for Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
To hammering it home that all these dead stormtroopers were actually kidnapped children.
Harvest more of the galaxy's young.
To finally seeing the Knights of Ren do absolutely nothing than go out like a bunch of weak-ass punks. And mercifully brings the new Star Wars cinematic era to a close with a sloppily constructed, hastily executed mess that managed to do the impossible. Unite fans who loved The Last Jedi and fans who hated The Last Jedi.
It's on fire! Whole thing's on fire!
Starring
Oh, we're using our made-up names. Then I'm Ray
Please say...
Hucked Finn,
Oh, they're going to say
Narco
Finn
Polo,
yelling.
Gentle Ben, Use the Force, me, the only consistent character across all 9 films.
And R2, for the most part.
Participation trophies.
Don't force so hard. You'll end up just like your brother.
An old man wearing the same outfit he had in his 20s.
Cut off my mane!
The Rocketeer, Rolling James Dio.
Tony Sith cloned this in the cave.
Bland Moff Tarkin. A rose by any other name would get to speak. How can I be a mechanic? I have no arms. Darth Sibelius. You know what's cooler than 1 Captain Phasma? 6 Captain Phasmas. And Rey's dramatic reveal face.
Yes! Honest trailer montage.
I had not thought of that.
Hey, she does it really good.
Star Wars Episode 9. The last Star Wars. For a while at least. They really need to think this through. You know, I'm starting to think it's a bad idea for one studio to make every big movie.
I was cybernetically engineered to pilot a spacecraft. You're cybernetically engineered to be a douchebag. What'd you do to the droid?
What'd you do to the Falcon?
Falcon's a lot better shape than he is.
BB-8's not on fire.
What's left of him isn't on fire.
On your left.
But there are more of us, Bo.
Wash your hands.
Good comment.
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are, all standing in a row. Who you calling a cootie queen, you lent liquor? I'm sorry for peeing during Be a Man.
All right, then. Great job, team.
Not bad. John Bailey.
Screen Junkies team, you did it again. You put together a wonderful script, great editing, John Bailey, great voiceover work. Brought up some things I wasn't fully aware about, because a lot of what is brought up here, yeah, we've talked about so much on the channel already. But I do love your line towards the end of this. Unite all the fans who love The Last Jedi and all the fans who hated The Last Jedi by pleasing absolutely nobody. It would appear when you just go through comments and hear social media talk. Although on Rotten Tomatoes, it does hold like an 86% out of almost 100,000 users on the audience score. So there's a lot of fans out there for this movie. My first time viewing it, I really did have a lot of fun with it. It's like I ran past all the problems with all the fun, and then over the course of 24 hours, the problems just, oh, this is all I feel now. It's like I put it all in the back of my brain, and then, oh, it's there. Because, yeah, I mean, even looking at some of the footage here, that first chase where they're hopping through in the Millennium Falcon, I think is a really great fight scene. I do enjoy the waves crashing, Rey and Kylo going toe-to-toe with each other. That being said, everything that's problematic with the film that's brought up here and more is very much true. And I also really love the bit that they did here of, you know what the real problem with this film is? Oh no, TIE fighters are coming.
Yes.
It's very true. That's like the structure of the movie is like plot, oh, run, plot, run.
One of my favorite just little bits and pieces of this came out of that idea that they keep repeating stuff, because when The Force Awakens came out, I remember people being kind of dismayed that, oh, it's just another Death Star. The Last Jedi goes out of its way to set up some new stakes, take Kylo Ren out from under somebody's thumb, and then in the very next movie, we're going back to stakes we've already seen. Palpatine, again, trying to do the same plan, and putting Kylo Ren Obi-Wan back under the thumb of an all-evil emperor.
He's great at setup, not great at sticking the landing on things. It's another solid point, too, brought up about Kylo Ren. This man who commits acts of genocide is suddenly redeemed because of one single act of kindness, when he really helped give rise to a lot of what goes on in this movie, in the whole franchise. Yeah. The machines, T3, the real T3.
The real T3.
not talking about Lando and Janna? And one opinion states that the visual dictionary says the daughter was taken.
She was taken.
But doesn't confirm that the character in Rise of Skywalker is Lando's daughter. Either way, it still reads as creepy. He's like 80 years old. I bet he improvised that. This is how I talk to the ladies.
It's in my contract.
And I will give it to them. I know I said it that R2-D2 was also as consistent, but looking back, R2-D2 presented a lot more capabilities in the prequels than he ever did in like episode 4, 5, and 6. So I would say that's an inconsistency. So yeah, I would say 3PO is definitely the most consistent. And yes, looking back on it, I still don't really know the characters all that well.
Nope.
I found to know them the best in The Force Awakens. And then it doesn't really get much deeper than that.
You can kind of guess and make your own headcanons and stuff. Let's just put some archetypes in here and go for it.
Well, I would say the protagonists are the problems. Like Kylo Ren's easily the best character out of this latest trilogy. And I think Daisy Ridley, as much as I thought that montage was a lot of fun, that's her Macaulay Culkin face. Put it in the compilation. I totally agree with you. She does that face a lot. But I still think she does a great job in the film.
During that montage, I got caught up in whatever she was looking at, so I think it's still effective.
It was like being emotionally drawn by it.
I was like, she does that a lot, but I guess it works.
I want to quickly comment on the Harrison Ford. I think it's a weird cameo. First off, I'm not a big fan of the trope of ghost dad shows up to give advice when he's not really there. I don't know what the canon says now, all right? It seems to be freaking changing every week. I go on some movie news site and some new information about Rise of Skywalker.
It was revealed in a pamphlet somewhere.
Yeah. Generally speaking, when movies do it, I'm not a fan of it because it's not real, but they're getting the perfect advice from this delusional thing that is going on.
Of their own mind.
The cameo I find compelling for two reasons, and it both comes down to Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford simultaneously does a great job in that scene, and at the same time, he also seems like he doesn't give a shit to be there.
It does. It's a very special Venn diagram he's achieved.
It's like perfect because I'm watching him going, you only did this for the money. I could feel it. And then the other side is, but he's doing a good job, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's an effective moment. And hey, at least we know now that Ghost's hair continues to grow.
Yeah. So is
filled.
Fortnite now part of canon?
Fortnite is canon. There are a whole bunch of new books that are canon. There's probably going to be like a sticker pack with some new canon information on it. I just want to know if anybody has taken in all of that since the movies come out.
I guess Star Wars has now become an information world-building franchise as opposed to, characters.
It's gonna be like Harry Potter now, where they're just gonna put out tweets. They did this, and now it's part of the story.
I also think it's complete crap that Finn was trying to tell Rey that he's force sensitive when he was sinking. How would that work? All right, if you're not gonna make him gay, at least stick the landing with he was so into Rey in The Force Awakens.
It's a whole
He's
joke.
so into Rey. You got a boyfriend, a cute boyfriend? Yeah. It would make more sense that he would want to tell her he loves her. What makes more sense? Rey, I need to tell you something. I'm in love with you. Or Rey, I'm force sensitive.
Before we die, I just wanted to let you know we have more in common than we thought.
Well, Rise of Skywalker. Has it grown on you? Let us know. Subscribe to Screen Junkies. Subscribe to The Real Rejects. Click the notification bell. Get notified whenever we got a YouTube video up. And hey, let's end this with a...
For Daniel Gallagher. Okay, so I did some Googling, and there is an insane amount of Daniels Gallagher in Scotland, and so I decided to take a tally of them and kind of list what the different jobs are so you can see what you have to live up to out there. So one owns a French restaurant called Résine. He opened when he was 23. More than a few Daniels Gallagher work in the fields of oil and energy. Yet another is the governor of Glasgow Caledonian University, and another the regional manager of the Masco Corporation. Still another DG was a murderous pervert, and one lived in the 19th century as a poet. There's one enjoying having no job, living by the sea, and there are even some living out by Greg and me. So I have only one more question to boot, and that's which one's the real Daniel Gallagher and which one do I shoot? Because there can only be one. And if I assume it's like the one where if we, kill them, though, then you'll get their power.
That's a shout out.
That's a shout out.